I got kind of inspired and kind of a funny thought as I was watching some videos of people taking stock rigs to places where they've only taken overbuilt rigs, and you know what? They got there and they had more fun doing it. That's not all I'm gonna say about this, but
It may seem ridiculous to you the way I do the things I do. So very sorry, friend, you got no box to put me in.
so I know that a lot of us will probably raise our hands and say that we probably have an overbuilt rig that's not even really finished being overbuilt. Like, there's still things that we want to do to it. I know, like with mine, there's a lot of people now, and it's funny, once I got new wheels and tires, everybody's like, oh man, it's dialed in. Not even close. But it looks like it's dialed in. There are a lot of things that I want to do, that I feel like I need to do, to make it more dialed in. And that does seem like the phrase that we use for our rigs is like, man, that thing's dialed in. But yeah, for me, I've got, 33-inch tires. I've got front and rear bumper sliders. I've got a roof rack. I've got a rooftop tent. I've got an awning. I'm going on more. I've got a gear pod on my lightener rack that lets me store some things outside of the truck and keep that locked, so that's nice. I've got go treads mounted on the side. I've got a Rotopax. I've got a bag that has a whole bunch of recovery shit in it and other things. I've got a fridge behind me. So yeah, some people would say that's overbuilt. And those some people are probably right. And then other people would say, man, that's a baby overlanding rig. You're not even there yet, which I would agree with also. Things on my wish list are a deck system. I need more storage, always need more storage. I am thinking about taking the other half of the rear seat out and putting something there and then making it to where Penny can still lay down on it. I haven't fully committed to that. I think I'd like to do the deck system someday to find out how much storage I can put, how much stuff I can put in that storage, and then if there's a need for more storage. I know as soon as you create the ability to store more things, you're always going to find more things that you need, because really all the shit we need can fit in a backpack. And there are some people that are running just like a bone stock rig with a few camping items that they probably bought at Walmart. They have just as good a time as we do with an overbuilt rig. And funny enough, they probably go out and camp and overland way more than we do, because we have jobs so that we can afford all of the wonderful things that we buy to be able to get away from the job. I know it kind of makes no sense, but I like my rig and I like putting it together. I don't like building it. That's not something that I do. I like paying somebody to do that most of the time. I say that. That's not even true. That's not true. The stuff that scares me, I will pay somebody or beg somebody to do. So what category do you fall in? Are you an overbuilt rig, or are you a kind of a stock rig that wows people every time it makes it to a certain spot? And going back to the beginning of this story, there's been a lot of videos that I've watched, people that I follow that have more than one rig, that every rig they own is super overbuilt until they buy that next one, and then they always take that one out in its stockish kind of form and smile way more on those videos than they do on the overbuilt rig video outings. There's a lot of satisfaction that you get from taking a lesser built rig to places where everybody's on 35s. Like, feels good. When I had the Jeep Liberty, I was in such a situation because there was not much I could do with that Liberty, so it wasn't much beyond the stock build. Now, I did rip off the front bumper and add to that, but it was still kind of a stock rig other than a front bumper, meaning that it had a very small lift. It was like maybe a 1.5 inch puck lift. You know what I'm talking, like they go on top of the springs. Makes your off-roading kind of suck because it's kind of bouncy and rough. But it gives you a little bit extra clearance, but not much. I was able to run not even 31s, but 30s on it. So as far as the look, it looked like it was fairly stock to most passerbys, other than, like I said, the front bumper. But yeah, I got more people doubting if I could take that down a trail than anything. Like, they were like, dude, I don't think you can do that. And then when it did it, when it was able to go and do that trail, which, to be honest, most of the time I probably did it in 2-wheel drive anyway. So we're overbuilding these rigs for the trails that we go on. We don't even need this stuff. It's nice to have if you do get stuck, or if the conditions, you know, are bad and you kind of have to. But I did it in a Jeep Liberty with 30-inch tires, and I had a blast in that thing. And it was kind of cool because I could sleep in it, so it was more stealth. That's the thing that you get with a stock rig versus this thing, is that if I am gonna go in like, let's say I'm going somewhere to camp, to Overland, and I just want to stay somewhere easy and quiet, I have to find a dispersed place, or I have to pay for camping. It's not like I can pitch up the rooftop tent, pull to the side of the road and just camp, or do it somewhere where, like, you can, but maybe you shouldn't, like van lifers do. I do envy that part of van life, that yes, they have an overbuilt inside a lot of times. They've got a ton of money vested in the comfort of the inside, but as far as the outside, most of them are pretty stock looking. There's a few out there, you know, Van City Van Life, his van was amazing. He just sold it. Now he's been building a Mercedes and will be moving into that not too long. And you've got Living the Van Life with Chad. Now his Sprinter is crazy, and he treats it like a crazy Sprinter. But most of the people that are doing the van life, the outside of their vehicle looks fairly stock. So they're able to kind of hide and camp. With overland vehicles, you just can't do that. That is a drawback to an overbuilt rig, is that you just can't take it anywhere you want to go and go camp. You're going to be seen. You're going to be told to leave. So yeah, there's all of that going on. It's crazy. And I don't know. What do you prefer? I feel like I need another rig so that I can go do some, like, stealth camping. I don't know. Do I want to do stealth camping? Hard to say. Hard to say. Well, anyway, we are rolling up to where I've got to be next. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day. And, you know, kind of like whatever you do, make sure that you go all over.